Hello, US 101 history class. Here we are, coming up to the end, and no doubt we're covering a lot of intense US history. We ended with the Reconstruction. It's an intense and kind of rough spot to end a history, grim in many ways. But I think it's highly important, and hopefully no matter what you remember out of all of the different historic points, and please keep in mind that I skipped over so many characters and events that I wish I could have focused more on. Mainly it's a time constraint kind of thing. So you can develop yourself, if you find interest in US history, to go beyond what you learned in this class. And what's important is that you understand why the Civil War actually happened accurately. I think we went over the primary sources and covered that. The declarations of secession by the South, very important. What happened with Bleeding Kansas and John Brown before that. And then the failures of Reconstruction, right? And why why the issue of race in America has not been fully resolved, and actually how close to our history we still are from the actual Civil War. I think that that's one of the things that's really hard for us as Americans to wrap our minds around, is that we're only a few great-grandparents away from Thomas Jefferson. I mean, it's not that old of a history. Other civilizations can go back really far, and some of the histories and the conflicts, people, get hung up on battles from the medieval times. But for us, we're talking about, well, if you saw one of the articles, one of my links, there was a woman in our lifetime who died at over 100 that shared a house with a man who fought in the U.S. Civil War. And that really, I hope, puts some pause in your brain to go, wow, so that was even possible, right? Again, I hope that those main ideas and understandings are sticking. And please, before the class finishes up, if you have anything you want to debate about, clarification on, hit me up and ask me, challenge me. I'll be happy to go further with that. This is your time. And I'm always going to appreciate any student who has any thoughts, even if it's contrary to my own. And we can try to find sources to see if we can get clarification on it. Or maybe it's just a different set of judgments that either of us have. It's okay. In any case, the final is going to just be a 25-point, or it's going to basically just be a paper like you had in your first exam. Success in the class was about keeping up with the class. That's how I've always set this up. So remember, you cannot turn in late work that doesn't have approval. Okay, so it gets an automatic 0. I've mentioned this so much. Okay, I'm not going to have a discussion about this if you send me late work without getting approval. And I already mentioned you the deadline about the late work. Okay, we're almost done with class, so it has to be turned in, as I mentioned, by this Sunday. And so if you have any questions on that, or if you want to address anything, this is your time to communicate with me. Here's the bottom line: communication, communication, communication. You can ask for something. It doesn't hurt to try. I won't be upset about it. We can just look and see. I just have to assess what I can do for many students who are struggling to keep up or try to get work done. And I have a deadline to get everything graded and then turned in on time. So, but again, if you don't say anything, I'm just going to have to operate with what I see, okay? If you don't like any of the grades you got, or you don't understand why you did, again, this is the time for you to address it to me, not later, okay? So please keep that. I hope you're having a decent start to the holiday season, not stressing yourselves out, and we'll be in touch. Contact me if you need anything.